Hello and welcome back to the channel. To cut a long story short, car won't start. So if you think I can fit a battery in a top box, then it's going to be motorbike to the rescue. We can, can't we? Surely. Okay, I'm going to put my trousers on. My bike trousers, I'm wearing trousers. So here's what happened. We were at the shops and the car wouldn't start. So I busted out my little jump starter. It is a fairly small model. It's only 10 amp hours and I think that's not enough now. But it barely helped at all. Now I was a bit worried that I might have caused the problem because that morning I had actually washed the car and I'd cleaned the engine. I've done it many times before without a problem, and I'm careful not to get too much water near the connectors, but you know, it should be absolutely fine. I've done it before. Now I had charged the jump starter less than a month. In fact, it was 2 weeks before because I ticked it off my to-do list, but it didn't do any good. So I was a bit worried, suspected a problem. You know, there was a short circuit or water across some connectors or something. And I waited absolutely ages for the RAC. It was like 4 hours. And when the guy came, he was very patronising and tried to explain that I use my jump starter, and I do keep the jump starter topped up because they do self-discharge, and he was saying, "Oh no, mate, no, you got to top them up every week, innit?" As soon as he saw that it was an orange RAC branded one, he had to say, "Well, it should have worked, but you obviously hadn't topped it up, or you were sat there in the car with the radio on, were you? Because that's going to drain the battery." Like, oh God, I don't have the heart to tell him how many milliamps a radio draws, and he was very patronising. Anyway, so he started it with his massive, great jump starter, and he tested the battery with his little computer thingy and decided the battery was okay. It should be able to supply enough current. So I got home, charged it all up, and then this morning it happened again. I was in the car park of McDonald's, in the car park after dropping my wife off from swimming, doesn't matter where, and the car wouldn't start. So this time I did ask a stranger for a jump start with the jumper leads, and that worked absolutely fine. Which leads me to think the battery is just very, very old and my jump starter is crap, both at the same time. Tricky to diagnose something when you've got two problems at once, isn't it? So what do you think about jump starters? I had a 17 amp hour yellow plastic box one before, and I had that for many years, and it saved not just me but a lot of other people, so that was good. I did get one of these really expensive Noco lithium Genius Boost ones for a few years, and it was great. I mean, it worked really, really well. The only problem was after a few years it puffed up and broke its casing, and I just think you can't, as brilliant as they are, you just can't store them in a car if the car's going to be swinging from -5 Celsius to 40 Celsius. I don't think lithium batteries can take that. So for now, as great as they are, I'm not going to be having a lithium battery because they're so expensive, and if they fail within 2 years and end up with the possibility of catching fire, I just want a big heavy lead acid battery. If it's good enough for your granddad. And I've got my eye on this big boy here, this 40 amp hour one. It looks like a normal one till you turn it sideways. Look at the size of that thing. Not sure about that yet. Definitely need to get a new jump starter. But I'm also very interested in these new super capacitor jump starters. Or I might just get both because it's me. Has anyone had any experience with them? Have you used a super capacitor jump starter? I think that's a very interesting... Right, here we are. I've talked at you non-stop all the way to Halfords. I'm just hoping they've got one in stock. I almost went to the bike batteries section there for a moment. Ooh. Right, we're going to have to look it up. We can have the Yuasa HSB054 or the Halfords HCB054. Yeah. Right, looks like we've got a choice. The Halfords is £79 and the Yuasa is 110. Which one do you think I should go for? Will it really last longer? Let's get this in here. It did make me laugh because I have this very early memory of being a kid and thinking that the RAC or the AA man person was some kind of hero, probably after a breakdown that the family had had. I still do, of course. All that knowledge and gumption going out in the cold all weathers rescuing people. But putting the battery on the back of the bike just then reminded me of something. That long before I was old enough to drive, I had this idea that I might want to be an AA recovery RAC person. And I even imagined myself putting a battery like that on the back of the bike, my bicycle I mean, and going just around the local neighbourhood, helping people who needed a jump start before work. Obviously Dad had taught me how to jump start a car long before I was able to drive one myself. That's the kind of dad he is. Right, back of the bike's a bit heavy, but not bad. Do the RAC have motorcycle patrols? I doubt it. I could do that, that would be fun. Right, let's head home, fit this bad boy, start charging it up. Oh, what am I talking about? Of course they had motorcycle patrols. Those old vintage ones with a sidecar full of equipment, and they'd stand by the side of the road and salute you with their gauntlets. Bring back those old days, I say. No, don't. There's all sorts of good reasons to stay in the present. For all its noise and madness, one of the things I will miss about living in a city is being a mile and a half from your next car battery at a moment's notice when you need it. Right, here we are. I'll be a bit careful because that top box is heavy. Now, before I changed the battery, I was slightly worried about something called parasitic drain. It is possible that some current is leaking the whole time, even when the engine's switched off. And I have no idea how much, so let's try the non-contact tester first, just in case it's a lot. That's more than I thought. 0.4 amperes, almost half an amp. That's a worry. I can use this one. Yeah, let's put that there. Right, come on then, let's do this. Yeah, so when we first connect, we're up at 0.56, but then we drop down 250 milliamps. I don't know, I'll take your advice. What do you think? 250 milliamps when the engine's off? Seems a bit high. All right, well, we'll change the battery and go from there. I'm only hesitant because if we have a fault that ruins the new battery, obviously that will be a shame. So I've got 10 mil here. This one at the back is hard to reach. I don't think we need to turn it far. This just hooks into a hook underneath there to clamp it down. Okay, let's remove the positive. along with the fuses. Obviously the most important safety point here is not to let anything metal touch both terminals. The short circuit would create a huge amount of current, so much that it could even melt a spanner that was short circuiting it, welding it on and stopping you from removing it until everything catches fire. So be very careful not to short circuit these. The cables are clipped into the side of this bucket, which I can then remove, because I'm definitely going to clean that out. Oh, gross. Nice to get a look in here while you're at it. Let's put that back in there and reclip the positive cable. There are some pegs on the bottom that locate into the holes, and just install the new battery, which is heavy. Yeah, that's a good fit. Get it low down there. And this part might be tricky as we try and fish this little hook back under the... Yep, that's fine. One last step is to give it a good charge. So I do like this. This is the Noco Genius 5, so it's a 5 amp charger. Because a trickle charger overnight is fine, but in some situations you don't want to leave it unattended with your window open, or you want it to hurry up. There we go, 12 volts. First red light is flashing. I mean, if this is the original battery, then it's done very well. I believe it is, because it says Varta, but it's just black. It doesn't have Varta stickers all over it, so I'm pretty sure that's OEM, which would make it 13 years old, so I think we'll accept that. Right, let's leave it to charge. Okay, it's about 6 hours later. Let's have a look, see what we got. Hey, there we go. Let's give this a try. Hey, there we go, look at that. That sounded great. Well done. Well, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.